Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsa Chanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. We are seeing chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, and last week we saw shloka number 14, a very important shloka 14 and 15, where Bhagavan Krishna over here as though reveals the definition of Bhagavan, Paramatma. This particular chapter is the end of the thought process of Karma Yoga, chapters 3, 4, and 5. And when we look at a karma, an action, the action produces a result. We call it the phala, karma phala. And when karma produces karma phala, when two people perform the same karma, often we have seen that the result is different for each one of them. And we often wonder, why is it that two people, exact same place, exact same time, performs the same action and the result is different? This is where we say that kratuhu agnyaya prapyate phalam. By the blessings of Bhagavan, as ordained by Bhagavan, the fruit of the result is fruit of an action is acquired, achieved. So then if Bhagavan is the one who blesses, then who is Bhagavan? So that is why these shlokas over here reveal who Bhagavan is. So in shloka 14, what we saw last week, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhuhu na karma phala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate. So now Bhagavan says, a lot of times it is said that Bhagavan's blessings produces fruit. So over here it is Bhagavan is saying, no, that's not it, but yet we say that it is Bhagavan. So he says, Prabhuhu Bhagavan lokasya na kartrutvam na karmani srujati. That Bhagavan is not responsible for the agency of action, the doership of action, nor is Bhagavan present in the action. Bhagavan is not the thought behind the action, neither is Bhagavan the doer of the action, is what is said over here. Na karma phala samyogat, na karma phala samyogam, neither Bhagavan unites one with action and the fruit of the action. Then what governs the fruit of the action and who presides over all this? Bhagavan says, Swabhavastu pravartate. It is the swabhav. And swabhav is a very technical term over here for prakruti. Prakruti is Prakruštena Krutam. This body is part of Prakriti, mind is part of Prakriti, intellect is part of Prakriti. And what is meant by Prakriti over here is the entire gamut of the pluralistic world. Creation, the world of matter, which is enlivened by consciousness over here. So the matter principle is the one who is directing, is what this is saying over here. Now, we have to understand that a jiva, an embodied soul, has accumulated so many vasanas. Continuously, vasanas, tendencies are acquired from birth after birth after birth. Innumerable past births have created a tendency in us, and that tendency is what we call causal body, the blueprint. And that blueprint or the causal body has given birth to the subtle body, the mind, intellect, complex over here, ego and memory, the four facets of subtle body, are nothing but created out of our own blueprint. And that blueprint itself has also created this body, and the parents who have brought this body into this world. So the whole thing is nothing but created by this blueprint. And then who creates the blueprint? It is the same jiva when the blueprint acts as a desire, as an emotion, as an action, and then action is rewarded by the fruit of the action in the pluralistic experience. Again, the experience is registered, whether we like it, whether we don't like it, as likes and dislikes, they keep on becoming stronger and stronger, and we strengthen our desires. The more we act upon our desires get stronger. And this becomes a solid blueprint which dictates our behavior, our emotions, our texture of thought, even our physical body, and the world that we are exposed to. All that is referred to over here as swabhavastu pravartate. It is a swabhav of a dog to bark and bite, the swabhav of a tiger to pounce upon animals, kill and eat. It is a swabhav of the water to wet. It is a swabhav of the fire to burn and give light. And when we look at the swabhav of a human being, it is complex because the equipment is so complex. So over here, Bhagavan says, swabhavastu pravartate. It is this swabhav which dictates our desires, our association with the desires, with emotions and feelings, and our actions at the level of the body. It is all dictated by the swabhav over here. Swabhavastu pravartate. Prakriti and jiva is talked about over here. This jiva has accumulated all different types of vasanas. And these vasanas work with the created world to exhaust them. And the world has been created for billions and billions of jivas to act upon their desires only to diminish them. But we create more and more by unintelligent living. All yonis, all wombs in this creation, 33 crores of them, they all are for the dismissal of desires, except the human being, where we can create more, we can remove them, or we can leave them where they are. The human birth is the only one where we can intelligently work with our desires to get rid of them. So Bhagavan is saying over here, Prakruti and Jiva. It is the Jiva, uh, embodied souls, thoughts, when they act upon them in this world, those desires and thoughts themselves itself produces the result. And it is the ignorance-filled desires which are responsible for uniting us with our own karmic debt. And that is what Bhagavan is saying. Prabhu, this absolute being, this Lord, is not responsible for creating. Out of ignorance, we say, Arey, Bhagavan has done this. Now, when two people do the exact same thing, the same action, same place, same time, results are different because the texture of desire was different. The desire with which we approach action determines the fruit of it. Somebody is just working to get money. Somebody is working because it's a privilege to work. Somebody is working because they've converted that work into worship and offered it to God. Imagine three people do actions, these three different textures of desires. So our desires will demand the fruit of it, is what is said over here. Now, Bhagavan. What about Bhagavan? Continuing Shloka number 15. Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnane navrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So over here, Vibhuhu, the last shloka, the word for God was Prabhu, Prakarshena Bhavati. Over here, Vibhuhu, Vividha Rupena Bhavati, Vishesha Rupena Bhavati, the one who pervades the universe. Vividha Rupena, in various names and form. Vishesha Rupena, and then specifically he arrives in our intellect as wisdom. So that is Vibhu. So name of the Lord. So Bhagavan over here, Vibhuhu na kasyachit papam adatte. He said Bhagavan will not take away somebody's papam, sins. Nacha eva sukrutam. Not only will he not take away somebody's sins, but he will also not take away somebody's punya. So Bhagavan sitting, some people think he sits way up there in the seventh heaven and he takes away the sin, he takes away the punya. He said, oh, some people say, I have, Swamiji done so good, but God knows why I ended up getting this grave disease. And the other person, Swamiji, they've done nothing good. And they are enjoying life. Smoking for 70, 80, 90 years and nothing. And over here, living a very healthy, divine, good life, are coming down with all different types of grave illness. What is going wrong? So is it that the Bhagavan who lives a very atrocious lifestyle, Bhagavan ends up blessing them, and the one who lives a very good life and does good, does he take away their punya? No. Bhagavan Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I don't take away anybody's sins. I don't take away anybody's punya. This is a very, very, very important shloka. We have to understand that we are the authors of our own we are the authors of our own destiny. Nobody else is responsible for it. Bhagavan has better things to do. He does not intermingle with our ways of living. He has completely left us up to our own equipment for us to decide what we want to do. If we entertain good thoughts and we do good, we are accumulating good karmic debt. Maybe the prarabdha may not be proper. Maybe the destiny for this birth may not be appropriate because the destiny started at the time of birth, but I just got knowledge today, and since today my lifestyle is altered. But what about prarabdha? That remains. So we should never question why did this happen to me? Why is it not happening to them? Or why am I spared and it happened to them? These type of questions we will never find answers to, because it is a bottomless well of desires and destiny. We don't know which destiny gives birth to which action or which fruit of action. All that is in my hands is this moment, today, right now. And in this moment, I can choose a nobler thought, and I can make myself come to accept all that has been happening. That is in our hands today. Thus, Bhagavan is saying in the next line, Ajnane avrutam jnanam. That knowledge that I am divine, that knowledge that I am complete, is veiled by the ignorance of the vasanas, the ignorance of the desires, and it is not allowing me to have a proper thought process today to nobilize my action or to accept my destiny. That is what Bhagavan is referring to as Ajnane avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. He refers to the ignorant beings, not even as jiva. He refers to them as jantu. Bhagavan is referring to all of us without proper knowledge and understanding, creatures. Like in the twilight hours, the cricket sound, the spooky sound, especially on today evening, the Halloween night. We are so scared of so many things, and all that is born out of ignorance. So the definition of Bhagavan is Bhagavan never takes away anybody's sins, nor does he take away punya. So when we go to the temple with a platter of fruits, some dakshina, and oh Lord, help me get this job tomorrow. Bhagavan cannot help us get the job tomorrow. He cannot help us do better in the interview tomorrow. But what he can do is, he can give us, we can pray for a decent mental strength for us to unfold tomorrow properly in a strong belief in my sense of being, a strong belief in myself, my abilities, and my ability to perform the duties that I have been asked. That much we can pray for. But it is a ludicrous idea to go to a temple the day before interview, offer some coconut, some fruit, some dakshina, and may I have a good interview. That interview depends upon how much we have prepared. This is what Bhagavan is saying. So if our understanding of Bhagavan is correct, our prayers will change. Our interaction with Bhagavan will change. We will put a greater amount of burden on our shoulders to carry our own weight, and we will take inspiration from the Almighty to carry this burden. And intelligently, ourselves shed the unnecessary burden. He also cannot shed our ignorance. As much knowledge arrives, to that extent, we shed our ignorance. And to that extent, we become light in our head and our shoulders. So ignorance has created our own entire causal body. Our blueprint has been created by us. When we understand who is this Jiva and what the Jiva has created and what the purpose of Bhagavan is, he has created the whole universe so that these Jivas can be accommodated. And a collective destiny, he has to make sure that the plan of the universe is executed. But the individual one, he has left it to the human beings. But the remaining of them, he presides over this world intelligently. This is Bhagavan when he is saying, Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnane avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Bhagavan is referring to people without knowledge as jantu. And he referred to himself as Prabhu and Vibhu. The one who is self-existent, Prabhu. Vibhu, the self-existent which is all-pervading, is Vibhu. And that self-existing, all-pervading awareness appears over here as the light of awareness, consciousness to guide the jiva, that is Visheshena Bhavati. In each one of us, that light is there to aware the principle of life. And that he has defined as himself. And Jagat by saying Swabhavastu Pravartate. The whole equipment, the whole universe as none other than Prakriti, all this Bhagavan has created. So beautifully Bhagavan is saying. Continuing, shloka number 16. Ajnanena tu tadjnanam yesham nashitam tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. So, Bhagavan says, Jnanena, by this knowledge, what knowledge? Knowledge that I am this absolute, I am this awareness consciousness, this Jnanena tu tad ajnanam nashitam atmanah yesham atmanah tad ajnanam jnanena nashitah tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. So what Bhagavan is saying over here is, in those people whose ignorance has been eradicated by knowledge, proper knowledge of the higher, in those people, Adityavat Jnanam, the knowledge, Prakashayati, it shines brilliantly, Adityavat, like the sun god. What shines? Knowledge. And the actual application of knowledge in life expresses as wisdom. So it shines as wisdom. Knowledge gets converted into wisdom when it is practiced, when it is lived. But that knowledge, when it is acquired but not put into practice, we cannot call that wisdom. It is information, that's all. But Bhagavan is referred to it as Jnanam, that knowledge which has been applied. So that knowledge, Tesham Adityavad Jnanam, it shines like a brilliant sun, Prakashayati. Prakashayati, it becomes a cause for Tatparam Prakashayati. It reveals the higher. So when we engage in proper thoughts and proper emotions and proper actions, and slowly, when these proper actions start blessing us with a richer destiny, that richer destiny creates yet even richer texture of desires. And when that starts happening again and again and again, the equipment called intellect, which is a matter vestiture born out of matter. Remember, Bhagavan is calling the whole equipment as Prakriti, born out of matter. This matter becomes very subtle. And that subtle matter now goes in search for its identity. Who am I? Where have I come from? How do I find happiness? And they are done with happiness born out of world. They want some subtler joy, not born out of food or companionship, or travel, or whatever different types of joys we can purchase. This person is interested not even in a relationship with a person in their life, but they are interested in a higher spiritual relationship. And that spiritual relationship reveals when the equipment has become very subtle. And that intellect which went in search of divinity becomes divinity itself. The instrument of knowing went in search of truth, and the instrument itself became the truth. That is called prakashayati. Tat paraha. Tat param. The absolute is now revealed by an equipment which was rendered fit for the truth to be revealed. That is what is said over here, that in those who are desirous of spiritual unfoldment, who get rid of their ignorance by proper knowledge and understanding, taking the support of Gita or Guru or teaching, and slowly when they purify, and that purified mind and intellect now is no longer just having knowledge, but applies that knowledge in living, and it has become wisdom. That wisdom becomes a cause of a revelation of a higher truth, and that shines brilliantly like a sun, is what is mentioned over here. In this, Bhagavan talks about this topic from 13 up to 21. These are the shlokas of knowledge. Only through proper understanding we can eradicate our lower tendencies. Continuing, Shloka 17. Tadbuddhayastadaatmanah tannishthaastatparayanaah gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaah. So in chapters 3 and 4, the person does karma yoga. Earlier, they didn't even know about Bhagavad Gita. They ended up going to some talk with their friend, and they happened to hear the art of action. They contemplated, slowly started changing their lifestyle, the way they approach action. And a person becomes spiritual from inside by entertaining proper thoughts. Such a person, slowly, the fog of ignorance gets lifted, and such a person now, according to the last shloka, understands that I am not a lower matter of some body, mind, and intellect, but I am this divine consciousness. This is revealed, and when that is revealed to those people, all the ill destiny is eradicated, which is none other than ignorance, and knowledge alone remains. And what do they do in this knowledge? Tad buddhayaha. That buddhi becomes that. Tad atmanaha. Atmanaha, it is none other than a technical language of Atman over here, not Paramatma, but mind. That mind becomes that. They realize, oh, my buddhi is none other than Bhagavan. My mind is Bhagavan. Tan nishthaha tat parayanaha. Tad nishtha. They dwell. Typically, we dwell in this body in a home. But these people living in the body, they dwell in knowledge. So, tat nishtha, referring to the dwelling place. In the dwelling place is tadeva nishtha, tadeva buddhi, tadeva manaha, tadeva nishtha. That alone is my buddhi, that awareness consciousness, that same awareness consciousness is me, the mind, which is rich in emotions and ideas. And it remains as I am the awareness. And that when it is extended to the body with all the senses over here, that person does not identify with the body, but says, I happen to have this body, but my abidance is in this awareness that I am. Tadeva para ayana, that alone is their supreme abode of lying. And when they lie in this absolute contentment and absolute fulfillment, which is what our nature is, then what desire will they have? Thus it is said, Tadeva para ayana. That alone is the supreme abode they reach and they dwell over there. Gachanti, as though they have been delivered to the truth. Gachanti apunaravrittim. Punaha avrittim. Again coming back up. They do not come back again. No desires will tempt them. No objects will tempt them. No people, no situations. Nothing can tempt them. They are dwelling in that and that alone. Such a person, Jnana Nirdhuta Kalmashaha. Kalmashaha, all the different types of illness, all different types of sins, taints, markings is Kalmashaha, plural, because so many we have accumulated, beginningless time. And nirdhuta, they are washed off as though cleansed completely from the inside. How are they cleansed? We clean our dishes with soap and water. We clean our hair with shampoo and conditioner. We clean our skin with soap. We do laundry, wash our clothes with soap and hot water and various different cleansers if there is oil stain or whatever it may be. We vacuum the dirt from the floor. We mop after that. The carpet we vacuum. So we clean various things. But how do we clean our inside? So it is said, Jnana Nirdhuta, cleaned by knowledge, cleansed by knowledge. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. All different types of erroneous thinking, all different types of the burdens of vasanas and desires, all those are eradicated by knowledge and knowledge alone. There is no vacuum that can suck out our ignorance. No lamp of light can be lit to remove it. No fire can be lit to burn the heap of ignorance. No water can wash it off. No wind can dry this ignorance. Neither can I find a dumpster to dump my desires. There's only one methodology, and that is to acquire knowledge. And only knowledge can remove it. And just by listening to and having an intellectual knowledge is not enough. That knowledge has to be put into practice. And that practice, wisdom, tad buddhi, tad atma, tad parayanaha, tad nishtha, that alone is my buddhi, that alone is my emotion feelings, that alone is my abode of rest. And having reached that truth and truth alone, na punaha avrutti, there is no again coming back, for I have been cleansed from the inside. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. The ignorance has been wiped out. This is what Bhagavan is saying. This is how we acquire proper understanding. And when that arrives, we realize our true nature. Continuing, shloka number 18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva shvapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. The definition, pandita. Pandita, panda yasya asti iti pandita. Panda is knowledge. Jnana is referred to as panda. Panda yasya asti, the one who has knowledge, is called pandita, not a local temple priest who's referred to as pandit. That is not what we call pandit according to Bhagavad Gita. According to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan calls the knower of truth alone as pandit. So panditaha samadarshinaha, they are equanimous in their drashti, their vision. Having acquired this knowledge, how does that person live in this world? Their vision is rooted in equanimity. They are not perturbed by some political decision of one party, or one gains the votes and the other one doesn't. One loses, the other one doesn't. The political landscape doesn't perturb them. The financial landscape of stock market, that doesn't perturb them. Their own individual financial security as bank balance and investments and retirement, nothing perturbs them. Their own spouse, it doesn't affect them, it doesn't perturb them. Not that they want to get rid of them, not that they want them to live for years and years with them. There is absolute acceptance of everything. They realize that even their children and even their spouse, They have their own destiny. They don't cry for it. They don't pray for it. They just accept it. They pray for the well-being of all beings, not just exclusively theirs. Such a person, Panditaha Samadarshinaha, the Samadarshi, it is said seeing, but it is the equanimous mind and the intellect. It is not just seeing, it is knowing. And four things are mentioned over here, that Panditaha Samadarshinaha Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Sampanne, endowed with, they are endowed with what? Vidya, knowledge. Vinaya, humility. Because the knowledge produced wisdom, and the wisdom, the insignia of a person employing wisdom in life is humbleness. They become humble. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, the knower of truth. It's a sattvic person. Gavi, a cow. A cow is referred to as a rajasic animal. It is from morning till evening grazing, 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 and grazing. Brahmane, the Brahmana, the knower of truth. Another person who's a knower of truth, sattvic. A cow, rajasic. Hasti, an elephant, tamasic. It is only interested in its skin. It just rubs against another elephant. And it lives in a collective society, only eating, drinking, and wanting each other's company. A male elephant looking for a female elephant when they go in rut. Tamoguna is talked about. So the three different types of mental disposition have talked about. And Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha. Shvapake, Shuni Chai over here. Shuni, a dog. Shvapake, the one who is so tamasic that they kill a dog and eat a dog. A dog which is a symbol of faithfulness, which sits in front of the home and barks at the thieves who are entering. Such a faithful dog, some adho tamasic person is willing to strike at such an animal and even consume it. So, atyanta tamasic person, rajasic, and a sattvic person, when the knower of the truth, when he sees all different types of expression of people in this world with all these different expressions, he doesn't treat one person better because they are sattvic, and he doesn't mistreat a dog eater because of their wretched lifestyle, but he understands what to do. Each one of them is none other than victim to their own tendencies, and thus swabhav is making people do what they are doing, and they remain equanimous and do not pass any judgment. Such a person, Bhagavan is referring to as, over here, the knower of truth, the one who is equanimous of this buddhi on the inside. Now, from Shlokas 18 to 26, the nature of the knower of truth is talked about. So knowledge is over. Now the one who has this knowledge, how do they express this knowledge? It starts from Shloka number 18, equanimous vision. It is not literally the vision on the outside, but the knowledge. When he sees an elephant and when he sees a wild horse, he's going to run away from there, knowing that they are capable of hurting. Even though they are knower of the truth, they realize that incidentally they are associated with this body, and that action of protecting this body is required, and they will quietly exit from danger. We will see more the nature of the knower of truth over here in this particular from this shloka onwards. We will see next week. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.